Welcome to the City Show Radio. I'm Pat O'Melia here on GGR by a Live 365, as I say every week. Download the app, and I'm sure if you're listening now, you already downloaded the app, but it's in my tweets. You download the Live 365 app, then you go right to GGR. You have all my wonderful programming on this new radio format we're starting, and there's a lot of other stuff on Live 365. There's music, there's talk, there's all sorts of radio programs there. So download the app. You can enjoy it. You can listen in your car. You can listen on your Alexa. You can listen on your Siri, all your smart devices. Wherever you want to listen, you can listen. So it's a good program. It's a good setup to Live 365. And, of course, it brings you me here, Pat O'Melia, with the City Show Radio. And we got a few other things. We got Tom's River Show. We got the Shore Show going. We got some town halls coming up with the Jersey City Public Safety, the JCMUA. They'll be taking questions from you guys. You got New Jersey City University. They'll be doing a show here. So little by little, we're building this up. And you're going to have my high school kids. A lot of my kids are graduating. A lot of them are graduating. We got some of them in the studio on Thursday. And I think the other half of them are at a senior event at the school. They're coming down to take some cameras off me tomorrow, because I teach the kids studio production and radio production. And they want to film what they're doing at the high school. So it's cool. I'm happy to help them. As long as they don't break my cameras. Actually, I should have grabbed that A1000 camera I have. Let them use that. I was in the old office the other day. I should have grabbed that while I was there. Having a drink of water. Now, what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about Trenton Dems trying to cover their butts over the pending electric increase that's coming next month. Well, that's May, coming in June. We're going to talk about, Donald Trump, his first 100 days. There's some issues there. We'll talk about that. We got some Steve Fulop. He's statistically in a dead heat with Mikey Sherrill. We got the RTC program. We got some Hudson County information here. What else I got? I got lots of stuff. Jersey City Child and Pet Finders. I would think you'd have two different decals, but maybe not. You got school funding issues, statewide. I want to talk a little bit about the New Jersey Turnpike widening project, all that, and so much more. When we come back, you're listening to City Show Radio on GGR. We'll be right back.
Comprehensive healthcare is here, here, and here. RWJ Barnabas Health is healing, enhancing, and investing in Hudson County with its two newest locations, Hoboken and Exchange Place. Within walking distance or accessible by mass transit, our locations combine convenience with primary and specialty care, including cardiology, women's health, orthopedics, cancer care, and more. Let's be healthy together.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
Am I back? I think I'm back. I wanted to turn down my headphones. It was a little loud in my headphones. All right, what are we talking about? Let's talk about Trenton. You know, I'm sure you know. Turn it back up a little bit. I can't hear myself. I'm sure you know, in June the 1st, there is going to be a 20% increase in your electric bill. That's a hell of an increase. For that matter, there was a big increase last night in the price of fuel. It went up like 14 cents a gallon. I'm riding by the gas station, and it was $2.95 for regular. And by the time I rode back, the same gas station, it was up to like $3.14 a gallon. So what the hell happened? Now, we're not getting that from China or anything, so I don't know what happened. I don't know. There's no hurricanes or tornadoes anywhere. What happened with the fuel, I'm not sure. So what's funny is I'm riding down the highway, you see the prices of the gas were just starting to, all the gas stations were just jacking up their prices. So I'm not sure what the hell happened fuel-wise. For that matter, I got my little Chevy Evo outside. I got that because I need to get more mileage when I'm riding between, up and down the highway between the two locations. And the Chevy will get 35 miles to a gallon. My Lincoln does not get 35 miles to the gallon. The Oldsmobile, it gets around 24. I need something that really gets, because it's too damn expensive fuel. So I got that out there. But, you know, I can't win if the price of fuel keeps going up. We have got to become energy self-sufficient. I don't know. Again, I don't know what happened, what caused the increase. I'm sure I'll hear it somewhere on the radio or reading the newspapers why this had such a jump. But again, we're not getting that from China. We shouldn't be getting any of our fuel from anywhere. We can be completely self-sufficient. But what happened here, we're going to have a 20% increase. So right now, Trenton's doing all they can to cover their asses until after the election. But they think you're stupid. That we'll hold this off until after the election. We'll look good. Then after the election, who gives an F? Because we've been reelected. You guys got to really start looking at who we're sending to Trenton. You can't keep sending the same people there and expecting different results. I'm starting to think a lot of these guys in Trenton or gals are just trying to cover their ass and they make well for themselves. You know, over the Murphy administration, which I had high hopes for Murphy, as he was talking about consolidation and shared services. I think we consolidated two municipalities. That was it. As far as shared services, not a lot of that. He had this green thing. We're going to put the windmills out in the ocean, and we're going to have green energy and solar, and it's going to be so great. And we're going to make sure, mandate we don't have any combustion cars by 2035. Well, guess what? None of that was ready. And as he was talking about that, if you go back to the old Jersey City show, I was saying, I got a lot of solar lights, and they're great if there's sun. And if there's no wind, there's no power. Natural gas, coal, they got these scrubbers now. It's not the stuff that we had in the 50s with the coal. It can burn relatively clean. Nothing like the old days. Nuclear is what we should be doing. I think we're talking about China. I think China's opening up. I thought it was like 50 nuclear plants. And they're not all huge nuclear plants, they're like pocket nuclear plants. You can scatter them around. That's where we have to go. Now, again, you want to keep working on the green energy. Probably never going to happen not my lifetime, that's for sure. Probably not in the lifetime of our next generation. Maybe somewhere down the line. Maybe there's the lithium crystals or the flux capacitor somewhere that'll do this, but it's not there now. And we can't depend on that. And Jersey went all in on this dream. Well, the dream turned into a nightmare because we're not generating enough electric. And look at your house. That's like when I'm watching old television shows or movies. I'm always interested how, like, the living room or the kitchen really hasn't changed that much. It's the electronics that changed. Everything is electronic now. Back in the old days when I was a kid, we had the radio and a TV. That might have been it. It was on electricity and lights. Now everything in your house is running on electricity. Now, and of course, New Jersey was mandating electric stoves because natural gas was dangerous. Natural gas is not dangerous. It's been around for a long, long time. All this pie in the sky thinking is causing this 20% jump because we are very reliant. We have cars that are running on electric now. Everything in your house is running on electric. Your tablets, your phone, everything around us. We're wired into our houses and our homes, and we're not generating enough electric. So now I understand they're reactivating the Oyster Creek nuclear plant. Yes, we need to do that. We should build some more of these pocket ones so we don't have brownouts. But these people that were protesting, we were supposed to have a generating station in North Bergen, where my studio is. Oh, no, we can't have that. It'll destroy the environment. Well, guess what? You're going to be living in the dark. We don't have enough energy. Now, as a natural gas, that thing would have burned basically clean. There was another one they were slating for Kearney. That didn't happen because of the bleeding hearts. And Murphy was like, oh, don't care about that. It'll generate electricity. So now you're going to get hit with a hell of an increase, and we're still going to be behind. We're not generating enough. So that has to change. We have to become self-sufficient. We were for a while. I don't want to bring it up, but we were self-sufficient energy-wise during Trump's first term. We were supplying our own fuel. We weren't worried about the Saudis. We weren't worried about anybody, Russia, or whoever was selling fuel. We were doing it ourselves. As soon as Biden came in, he stopped the pipelines, and we know the story there. How many times we're going to beat this dead horse? So what Trenton is trying to do now, they're trying to get the power companies to hold off on the increase until after November. And then they threw in this one. Well, you know what? We're only going to let them raise the electric rate 2% for residential. That'll make the people in residential be happy about us. But business, commercial will pay the full rate. But it's as if business doesn't turn around and charge that full rate to the customers. You want to buy a pair of sneakers, we're putting that electric bill in there. You want to have a cheeseburger, we're putting the electric bill in there. We're putting the expenses in the cost of the products and what we're selling to you. It becomes part of the retail price. So it's always this bull that, we'll just put it on the corporations and the businesses. You're killing the friggin' businesses in New Jersey. You keep throwing things on to the businesses here in New Jersey, and they keep adding it on to the price of goods. And then it becomes a problem. People can't afford to buy the price of goods. That's why New Jersey isn't affordable, because we keep sticking this either to the businesses in New Jersey or the residents in New Jersey. Whatever the case is, there's a reason why we have the worst business atmosphere in the country, New Jersey. There's a reason why New Jersey is the highest tax state in the country. We got bad management. Now, we can rectify that in November. I don't care if you vote Democratic or Republican. Look at these candidates. Look what their platform is. If they got a history, it wouldn't hurt. They've been an assembly person, a mayor in the case of Russ Farracker and my friend Steve Fulop. You had Jack Citarelli, Bill Spadia, radio host like myself. Really look at what these people are talking about. But go lower than that, just the governor. Look at the assembly people. Look at your whatever races you have going municipally. There's some sheriff races going on right now. Pay attention to the small stuff, because that small stuff works its way up. Try to make an educated decision. Look at Trenton, how it is right now, and ask yourself, do I want that again for another 4 years, or Assembly another 2 years, or 3 years? I think it's 2 years for Assembly, 5 years for the Senate. Do you want that? No. You gotta have a new, clear vision for New Jersey, an affordable, clear vision for New Jersey. And we don't have that right now. We just keep sticking it to the people in New Jersey. And that is to stop. You can't afford it. I'm going to go into it. We have school funding issues here. We got schools selling buildings, selling their headquarters, laying off teachers, cutting out the sports curriculum. They're doing everything possible to try to keep the schools open. And we have a state that has the largest budget they've ever had, billions and billions and billions, and we can't afford to fund our schools. That is one of the things. Maybe I'll start getting some of these candidates for governor and really press them on how are you going to fund the schools without beating the people of New Jersey over the head. Now, I said this before. There's 565 school districts. There's more school districts than municipalities. That has to change, because they all have expenses attached to it. But again, November, you got to look with a clear vision, make an educated vote. It's your future. It's your future. It's your kids' future. You own a home in New Jersey. This is your investment. That's your big nest. That's what you're going to leave your kids. That's that generational income. You've got to be real serious here. You can't just keep sending the same people back there. Now, not all of them are bad. Don't get me wrong. But some of these people are like, give me a break. I'm dying here, and we keep sending you back there. That's got to stop. All right, what's got to stop is me for right now. We're going to take a commercial break. You're listening to The City Show on GGR. I'll be right back.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
We're back. You're listening to City Show Radio here on GGR. I'm Pat O'Melia. Like I said, don't forget, download the app. Tell your friends, download the app. Yeah. I was just talking to Garrett here, is our engineer board over there. Now I will see if we can get some of that. I know I can get Steve Fulop. I know I can get Steve Sweeney on the show. Maybe Russ Brock. I really want to press these guys on what your vision is for school funding. And again, without leaving the people of New Jersey with bumps on their heads. Yeah, we got to have a real vision on how we're going to do this without digging into your pockets. I ain't got nothing else in my pockets. You dig in my pocket, I'm pulling my pocket out right now. I got nothing. I got nothing in my pockets. I got nothing. And the rate we're going, nobody else is going to have nothing either. Let's talk about our man, Donald Trump. 100 days. There's a love-hate relationship with Donald Trump. Either you love him, you hate him. And you got the media, they're doing these surveys. I'd love to see the questions on these surveys. They give you the results, but they don't tell you what the question, how the question was framed. Right now, he's got it. First off, the survey says, well, Donald Trump's first 100 days have been very chaotic. Well, compared to Biden doing nothing, yeah, I'm sure it is chaotic. Now, are they all been hits? No. There have been some swings and misses in there also. But he's still at the plate. The pitcher's still throwing the ball, so we can get some hits in there. Has everything worked? No. We got the Secretary of Defense that, can't do group chats. And even Trump has got to the point where it's like, yeah, he better straighten up. He's going to have to go. He'll be back on Fox News. Yes, it has been chaotic for the 100 days. Some things have worked. One of the things we were just talking about before on the air. Nobody gives them credit. Border crossings are basically done. They're nil. There's nothing going on at the border. Nobody's crossing over. So give Trump the credit there. Whereas Biden let in 11 million, 16 million people, the equivalent of like 2 New Jerseys, slipped into the United States over the last 4 years. Border crossings have stopped. The thing with Canada, because that was one of the questions. I think it was like 56% of the people who answered the survey didn't want Canada to become the 51st state. I don't think I was ever serious. I swear to you, Trump says things just to rile people up. And actually, he was just trying to get under Canada's skin. I'm trying to think of the guy's name there. He was the head of Canada. He's not the head there anymore. Trudeau? I think he was calling him the governor of Canada, that sort of thing. Greenland, Greenland's a different story. Strategically, we should have some real influence. I don't know if we should buy it. Can you buy a country? I don't know. Yeah, maybe you can. I don't know. Everything's got a price, right? But strategically, in the global situation for security for the United States and our allies, Greenland is something we should really be interested in. So Trump's probably not too far off there, where we can protect our interests in our country. Panama Canal. Actually, I agree with him. Now, this is some dummy. I think it was Jimmy Carter that did the deal. Well, let's give the Panama. We spent millions and billions probably building the Panama Canal, but we're magnanimous with your money. We'll give it to the people of Panama. Now they're hitting us over the head to go through the canal. So I think Trump is working something out there. He doesn't want U.S. warships to have to pay. And, if things go ugly in Panama, I'm sure they'll be talking to us. So they should probably be cool with the United States. But security-wise, Greenland, Panama Canal, that has to be, things have to be negotiated there. Running for a third term, I don't think that's possible. And then, I never heard Trump say this, that J.D. Vance would run for president. He would be his vice president. Trump would be vice president. J.D. wins, resigns, and Trump becomes the president. Not going to happen. For that matter, by the time Trump's done, I think he'd be older than Biden. And the thing is with Trump, he has money. When he's done, he's done. He's going to be on a golf course, living out his 80s, and like only 20% of the public makes it out of their 80s, so go enjoy it. Try to fix what you can. Get the government efficient. Fix the effing economy. Get the economy right. There's no reason that fuel should have went up like 14 cents a gallon. Price of eggs have come down. At ShopRite, jumbo eggs was $5.29. That's still high, but it's coming down. I don't know what they do with the chickens. Maybe they want more money. I don't know what the deal is, but it's kind of expensive. But it's coming down. So little by little, like I said about a month or so ago, I'll ride with Trump for a year. I need him to be successful. If he's successful, we're successful. It's like the old saying, the tide lifts all boats. Please lift. Let's get the Titanic back up. Yeah, come on, let's lift them up, man. We need this. I'm struggling for parts for items I want to get for the studio. I never had that before until Biden came along. Now, in the pandemic, it was the Biden pandemic there, BP. I'm still trying to climb out of that hole. Where else we want to get? Sanctuary states. Trump is signing an executive order where he's going to go after the sanctuary states and cities. We have a few of them, by the way. Jersey City is a sanctuary city. If these states are not going to cooperate with the federal government in law enforcement, in particular ICE, Trump's going to lock you up. The Department of Justice is going to lock you up. I know we keep saying it's Trump, but he delegates that. We have attorney generals in the Department of Justice and all that. And we can't pick and choose what federal laws we're going to observe and honor. The country is a country of laws. And we just can't say, I'm not going to follow that law. Because we're not going to follow one, and we don't have to follow any. So then we can actually, the way things are going now, people are getting out of jail for murder and things of that nature. That guy, Luigi, and I don't need Mario's brother, he's like some sort of a martyr here because he murdered that insurance guy. So I'm not sure how we even think about this anymore. People want this Luigi out of jail. Once we don't follow one law, then we're not going to follow all the laws. So when a state such as New Jersey decides they're not going to cooperate with federal law enforcement, that's a problem. ICE is going to do a raid, or the federal marshals are going to do a raid. One of the first things they do, they call local law enforcement, local, Robbinsville PD or Edison PD. Same thing the marshals do. So we have a warrant, we're going to serve this warrant. You can't turn around and say, we'll help the federal marshal, but we're not going to help the federal ICE. That's not going to work. You turn down the federal government, you should be locked up. For that matter, there was a judge. There were two judges that were recently locked up. One had an illegal immigrant, undocumented, whatever you want to call him, in his house, living there, as a friend to his son. And he had some interesting background. So they got him and they got the judge. And then they had this other woman, was it in Wisconsin? I think it was Wisconsin, the judge. Guy's in a courtroom, undocumented. And ICE has a retainer on him. And she's trying to help this guy get out of the courtroom, cut through the my chambers, and you can slip out the back. That didn't work out. They got everybody, and they locked her up. What the? You take an oath, the judge. When you put your hand on a Bible, you're there. The Constitution, the laws of the country. A judge starting to think they're above the law. Remember during Biden, nobody's above the law. I'm trying to say they are now. That's what's going on. Everybody's trying to be above the law. We just had the guy. He was a governor. I thought he was he might be from Wisconsin too. No, I think it was Illinois. Talking about Republicans should never have a day of peace. Are you effing kidding me? Was that Montana? I thought it was. You can't have rhetoric like that because, unlike the old days, there's too many friggin' idiots out there who will take this like some mission. I'm on a mission from God. I have to go after Republicans. Don't promote violence. And that's what this kind of rhetoric is all about. Then you got these people that are completely just unattached to the public. The guy Schiff, Senator Schiff, he was on one of the talk shows, and he actually ventured out into the real world among the unwashed masses. And he went into a CVS, I think it was. And he was surprised that toothpaste and deodorant was locked up. And he thought this was something recent under Trump. Oh, the Trump, they got to lock up the toothpaste and deodorant. No, they've been doing that for the last 3-4 years. That's why a lot of these Rite Aids, Walgreens, and CVS are closing. They can't handle the shoplifting. What's going on in San Francisco, California? They're closing up left and right out there. And this guy, Schiff, yes. He was amazed that they're locking up the deodorant. Yeah, because we don't do anything anymore. we lock these people up. I think it's okay in California if you steal less than $1,000. Yeah, we don't lock you up for that. What happened to this country? And didn't Murphy want to be the California of the East Coast? God. Fortunately, he's only got about 6 more months before we get another governor. That's why, again, look at these candidates. Look at your assembly candidates. Look at all the elections that are going on. Look closely at them. Look what they're talking about. I don't care if they're Republican or Democrat. It's the job of the people need to be done. And that's what we need to send to Trenton. That's what we need to send to the county seats or the town hall or city hall or borough hall, whatever hall of fame, hallway, I don't know. Whatever hall we're sending them to, try to send the best possible people whose vision lines up with yours. And remember, we're trying to protect your home. We're trying to protect the future of your children. You know, it should be able to enjoy the American dream. And it was always, you could be anything you want in this country. But you had to want it. You had to go and earn it. Yeah, nobody came out and said, here, you want to be a doctor? There you go. You're a doctor. No, you had to go out and acquire an education, a skill, a craft. And you built that to earn a living. Somehow we're getting away from that. Or, in some cases, if you're successful, that's bad. We need to take money from you because Jimmy over here didn't get an education, and he has no skill, he has no craft. He's just Jimmy, and he can't do anything. But we want to take money from you and give it to Jimmy. What the hell what are we, socialists? We have a great education system in New Jersey, and it's a very expensive one, but it's a great one. Some of these schools, and I know some of the high schools here, the reading and math are pretty bad. Something that should, again, that's something I'm going to ask a candidate. How are you going to make sure we're spending good money for good education here? We don't want to send good money after bad. But these are the kind of things we have to look at. Now, the tariffs, I don't think they really hit yet. I'm looking at the ports all the time. I know that we hit it on China, but it's never a situation for us. They're shipping out because China wasn't buying our stuff anyway. So no matter what, if anything we've done tariff-wise, there should have been whatever China charges us, we charge them. To the point where maybe we shouldn't have tariffs. But it's the way the government makes money, so you got to have some tariffs, I suppose. Now, China, as I understand, canceled a bunch of orders from farm, pork, wheat, that sort of thing, grain. If China doesn't want to eat, that's fine with me. Let China have less on their plate. The farmers are concerned. Now, this is a pretty simple one. Trump can just easily walk in. We'll take care of your crops. We'll buy your crops. We'll sell it. We'll send it to pantries, whatever we need to do. We'll sell it as a discount to the cookie guys or craft food, whoever. We'll make sure the farmers are safe until the tariff situation ends. Again, if China wants to go hungry, that's up to China. We got the food. For that matter, one of the reasons China was buying up farms, again, under the Biden administration. One of the things Trump said, that ain't happening no more. Trump is going to try to reverse the purchases of many American farms bought by China interests. But they were because they want food. We'll take care of our farmers, and we'll make sure the farmland stays in the hands of Americans. I applaud Trump for keeping U.S. Steel American. It'll be in the control of an American company. They can have investors, foreign investors, that's fine, but it will be in control of American companies. We just can't lose everything. But yeah, you don't know what the future is. You know, during World War II, reason we were successful against the Nazis in Japan is that our ability to manufacture, our industrial might. We don't have that anymore. So if anything jumps ugly again, we have a problem. So we have to start looking at the past as a vision for our future. We learned anything from the pandemic. You couldn't get medicine, couldn't get ventilators, couldn't get masks. You couldn't get any of those hospital supplies. That we have to get. So that has to be manufactured here. If we've got to plant seeds with tax breaks, do it. If you're creating jobs, we're going to do tax breaks anyway. The more you give business to invest in business, the better it will be. That will boost the economy. Reagan did it. Clinton did it. Trump was doing it the first time around. Give business the money to operate. try to keep government out of business as much as possible. You want to make sure that the businesses are running safely. You want to have your OSHAs. You want to have some regulation, but we don't need government there every day. Let business prosper, and you will see the economy turn. I think that's what needs to be done. But again, it can't be done unless you go out and make an educated decision in this election. All right, before we get into Mr. Fulop and his really good campaign going, we're going to break for commercial. You're listening to City Show Radio here on GGR. I'll be right back.
No one plans on heart disease, but everyone should have a plan for it. We help patients of all lifestyles and medical histories plan for healthy hearts. We offer convenient screenings without judgment, hundreds of preventive programs, and women's heart specialists. And we're the largest cardiac surgery program in New Jersey. Make plans for a healthy heart with RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
We're back. You listen to Pat O'Melia here on City Show Radio on GGR. Steve Fulop. I'm big bones about it. I've known Steve for, I don't know, about 22 years now. We're friends. It would be nice if my friend was the governor of New Jersey. That would be good. Hello, Governor. How you doing? That'd be great. Be like, like talk to somebody, the mayor here. It'd be great if I could talk to the governor like that. Say, yeah, we got to get some things done here. Mayor Fulop, when the campaign started, the two big guys, guys and gals, Mikey Sherrill and Josh Gottheimer, they were like 1 and 1A. Wasn't a lot of thought in Fulop. For a while there, Spadia had some heat. Jack Citarelli, he's been running for 12 years, so now it looks like he's going to win the Republican primary. Unless Trump comes out and endorses Bill Spadia. The problem here with Trump, he doesn't like losing primaries. If it was close, I could see Trump endorsing Spadia. But here's the reality of it. It isn't close. I think Citarelli's got like a 30+% lead on Spadia. And the best that could happen, even if Trump endorses, maybe you get a 25% bump. Still not enough. And Trump doesn't want to lose a primary. So I could see Trump sitting this one out until the general election. But Steve Fulop, now Russ Verrocker's in there, Steve Spiller. Fulop was he was in the back of the pack there. Since then, Steve Fulop is basically in second place now. He's 5 percentage points behind Mikey Sherrill, who in my opinion, is living on that helicopter jacket and the picture of a helicopter. And the error of plus minus is 5% on the poll. So that puts Steve Fulop basically in a statistical tie with Mikey Sherrill. And Steve needs to pick up that gap. We're looking at 5%. That's probably around 20,000 votes, and he's got about 7 weeks to do it. And I tell you what, everybody who's running a campaign should be running it like Steve Fulop is right now. I mean, he is out there. We have terrible campaigns in Hudson County under the Fulop name. I mean, there's some lazy people out there. Watch what Fulop is doing and campaign like Fulop. Now, he is all over the place. He is having town halls all over. I got to get him in here. I do a Tom's River show, so maybe we'll do an interview on Ocean County, but I definitely want to do an interview related to Hudson County and schools. But it is incredible on how well Fulop's campaign is working. And if Mikey Sherrill, I don't know what happened to Josh Gottheimer, guys. I said a few weeks ago, it's like somebody grabbed him by the back of his collar and pulled him back. But he had a cool commercial. He's got some AI generated, him and Trump in the ring. They're boxing. Yeah, that's pretty good. Thing is, I don't know what so much focus on Trump is right now. You better start focusing on your opponent. Don't worry about Trump. Trump's not running for governor of New Jersey. Fulop's got to go after Sherrill and Gottheimer. Don't worry about Trump. They're focusing on Trump. Sherrill's focusing on Trump. Gottheimer's fighting with Trump. For that matter, Fulop's got kind of a boxing thing. He's got the boxing gloves. You don't send a lightweight to battle a heavyweight, the heavyweight being Trump. Trump isn't your issue right now. It's wherever you are in this governor's race here. It's either Fulop, Cheryl, Gottheimer, or Russ Baraka. Don't worry about Trump. You worry about, and as far as Gottheimer and Cheryl are concerned about standing up to Trump and fighting him, you're already in D.C. You're there. The White House is over there. You're in Congress. Get out. Walk over to the fence and say, hey, stop it. You're a lot easier to do in D.C. than it is in Trenton. Don't give me this crap you're going to stand up and fight him. He's right over there. You got to walk across the street, basically. And you're going to be right there. You're looking at him. You look at me and I'll stand up and fight Trump. You're being Trenton. Doing it in D.C. Show me now. Show me now. One of the things Fulop just announced today, that he's proposing, if he is the governor, if I am the governor, I will raise the minimum wage to $18. And he will give tax credits for the businesses to offset the increase of the minimum wage to $18. I want to understand, minimum wage was never to be a living wage. That was never the idea of minimum wage. The minimum we would pay kids to work at. I was one of those kids at ShopRite. I was one of those kids that had the minimum wage jobs. For that matter, the most money I probably ever had in my life is when I was taking home a pay of $98 a week, and I had absolutely no expense. Every end of the week, I had $98 in cash. I wasn't paying no rent. I was just buying some fuel. Actually, I wasn't buying fuel. I was working at a gas station. I had no expense. Beer was like 30 cents. I was living a high life. $98 back then. And the minimum wages, a lot of seniors who are supplementing your income, that was never a living wage. And what happened when you mandate these minimum wages? First off, if you got somebody close to that in your employment, you got to boost them up. If somebody's making like $20 an hour and had a minimum wage of 18, you got to boost them up. Yeah, you got to respect your employees. Two, like in the summer, I would like to have some of the kids from my program work in the studio. Problem is I can't afford to pay these kids $18 an hour. So that eliminates the possibility of me hiring these kids. Now, in the old days, I had the kids. It was reasonable. I started training kids in Jersey City. We would take the interns in the summer. I think we were paying like $10 an hour. That you can afford. But you got the 18, then you got the payroll taxes on that, then you got to put your workers. It just builds up. $18 an hour, again, not a living wage. It never intended to be one. And giving me tax credits, just lower the minimum wage, because that hurts the restaurants. It hurts the price. Like I said before with the electric, everything you put on business comes out the window of business. You want that cheeseburger, you want that shirt, you want that pair of shoes. That minimum wage figure's in there. Now you got restaurants, you got TGI Fridays, Applebee's. All these restaurants are hurting because they're very expensive. They're not cheap anymore. They're closing. There's Burger Kings. There's a whole slew of Burger Kings that's just filed for Chapter 11. There's reasons for that. Now, the pandemic changed all our routines. Nothing is the same. And it's amazing if you sit back and think about the things you did before the pandemic and what you do now. It's like going into a bank. And it's sad. You see banks closing. You see the tellers are getting laid off. What we need is to have you still need the brick and mortar banks. What we really need to have is co-op banks, where Wells Fargo, TD Bank, Santander, all those banks, they share. Yeah, they have the computer. If I'm a TD Bank, I can walk into the co-op bank and make a deposit to my TD account or Wells Fargo, whatever account you have, and they would split the expenses of this brick and mortar bank. And it's whatever teller's there, and they split the expenses of the tellers. And I bring my deposit slip, or I get the whatever we're doing, certified check, getting a new credit card. I wonder why TD Bank can give me a new debit card in like 5 minutes, and Santander Bank, Santander Bank, whichever way you pronounce it, takes like 2 weeks. They print it right. They got a machine right there. Prints it right up at TD Bank. We still need the brick and mortar, but after the pandemic, I don't go into the bank. I go to the ATM. And before that, I would never make a deposit at the ATM. I would go inside, meet the people, see the faces, talk to people. They got to know you. If there was never an issue, you call the bank, boom, they would take care of it right away. It's Pat from Hudson Media. You don't have that kind of relationship anymore. But so many things have changed. But once you break your routine, it's very hard to get back into that routine. So a lot of this is affecting the businesses. You can't keep jumping the expenses on business. You just can't keep piling it on and expect them to succeed. Because eventually, I think a Whopper is like $7.50 now. That's a lot of money for a Whopper. But that all has to do with payroll, insurance, heat, light, and power. And eventually you can't afford to go to Burger King anymore. So you're going to eat at home. More people are eating at home. I'd rather, again, I've hired many people. I've trained many people, whether they're trailer mechanics or film editors, camera people. I've trained them for years and years. A lot of people out there have jobs because of me. I had the patience, and I wanted to help. If I can help somebody, I help somebody. Speaking of Fulop and the campaign of Fulop, I'm down in Tom's River this weekend. Fulop signs everywhere. Everywhere I go, Fulop sign, Fulop. This is in Ocean County. Yeah, we used to see them in Jersey City, but Tom's River on Route 37, Fulop. He's got his people out there. He's got the signs out there. I don't know if some people are taking the signs, because I was down on Sunday. I noticed some of them were missing. But yeah, it was pretty windy. So those signs could have blown away. But you look at that Fulop campaign. Now again, I'm talking about Fulop signs. I didn't see any Mikey Sherrill signs on 37. I didn't see the Josh Gottheimer sign. Who's ever worked in the Ocean County for Steve Fulop is doing a good job. You know what? I should open the phone lines, right? Even though it's like 18 minutes left in the show. Our phone line is 855-999-0799. That's 855-999-0799. Let's move along here. Do I want to take a commercial break or no? Not yet? Okay. Jersey City approved funding for the RTC program. What is the RTC program? The RTC program will pay for your legal expenses if you're being evicted from your apartment or home in Jersey City. They'll supply the lawyer, and they'll go to court. There's always talk, well, the landlords bring a lawyer, the tenant doesn't. I was in favor of this. If you go to our YouTube channel, we did a whole show on this RTC. We had representatives from the building, the homeowners associations, renters. We had a landlord-tenant attorney on the show, Roberta Talkin, and they talked about all the pros and cons. I have a problem when we keep adding on to the expense of Jersey City. It is not affordable now in Jersey City, and we keep piling it on. It's like we pay, we're going to get affordable housing. Well, let's make the city that much more expensive. Because one of the driving factors in the price of rent, property taxes and insurances. You keep adding on other departments in Jersey City, got to be paid for. Now, what they're talking about doing, this was pushed by candidate for mayor, James Solomon. He's been pushing this for a while. How they're going to fund this for now is they're going to take 20% of the money set aside for the Affordable Trust Fund, Affordable Housing Trust Fund. So that will go to the RTC. So you got to hire attorneys. You got to pay for attorneys. So you're going to have again, if any other reason besides non-payment of rent, I don't know why you get an attorney. You didn't pay your rent, you got to go. But again, this is what the city wants to do. They're going to take 20% of the Affordable Housing Trust Fund, and then they're going to jack up fees on development. You want to build a house, you want to build an apartment building, you want to build a condominium complex, you want to build a high-rise. We're going to hit you even harder now because we want money for the RTC. Now, when you make the expense of building that two-family home or that 8-unit apartment building on a high-rise, what do you think happens to the rent? They go up because of the expense. We keep throwing it on. And what happens if we don't achieve the numbers for the RTC? We don't have enough money to run it. Well, what do you think happens? Remember that empty pocket? Yeah, they're going to take it again. Eventually, they're going to go through your pocket and down to like your knee. So you got any money in your socks? Let me see you got money in your socks because we want more money. That's what's going to happen. The city's not affordable. Let's put some more expenses on it. Like I said a couple weeks ago, we need to do a reset. We need to go Jersey City. It got to be affordable. We need to press the reset button and let's go back to Glenn Cunningham. 2000. Let's go 2004. Glenn passes on in 2004, May of 2004. Which reminds me, we need to finish the Glenn Cunningham coming up on May 25th. He passed on. That should be where we start. What programs and expenses we had in 2004 is our starting point now. Then we got to look at everything we added on since then. But somehow we have to get affordable. Now, the city's looking at a budget of, I think it's $745 million. Don't forget the Jersey City Board of Ed, where money means nothing to them at all. It's like monopoly money to them. They're over $1 billion plus. And they're actually thinking of raising it 24%. Think about that. They're over $1 billion. And they're thinking about another 20% increase on it. Affordable housing? How the hell is that going to happen when a city is this expensive? So we need to look at that. And whoever the next mayor is, or governor, or I don't know, somebody in a friggin' shining armor with a sword. I need Doge to go into the Board of Education. Maybe I get Masab Ali. He's running for mayor in Jersey City. He was the president. Maybe he can talk about some of the expenses. Because there ain't no effing way that this Board of Education needs over $1 billion. There's no way my old grammar school could cost $58 million a year to run. We need to go through that. We need to look at the expenses of the city to try to claw them back. So affordable apartment isn't $3,000 a month. You know what? It ain't affordable. $3,000 a month. Oh, it's affordable. No, it's not. You know, what the hell kind of salary do you have to make now? You know, there was a thing in Brooklyn. We're talking to this person who was making like $250,000 a year. They couldn't afford to live in Brooklyn. Actually, in Captain America, I think it was the Winter Soldier. I think Falcon asked Captain America, is he moving back to Brooklyn? Captain America says, I don't think I can afford to live in Brooklyn. It's Captain America. He can't live in Brooklyn. It's where he's born. But Brooklyn's not my concern right now. My concern is Jersey City and the state of New Jersey. We got to figure out how the hell we can make things affordable here. And this RTC program, I just see it being more of an expense. I could see this mushroom into a problem. I can see this turning into where mom and pop who need that, you got a 2-family or 3-family home, where I have an attorney that's just delaying, that they can't make a mortgage payment. But do we care about that? No. We don't care about that. We care about putting expenses on so we can hire some attorneys and we can hire some of our friends to work in Tennessee Hall, and they'll all be in part of the RTC. And when it needs more money, they'll be reaching into your sock. You got no money left in your pocket. They'll be going to your sock. You got any money in your shoes? You got money in your seat. All right, we're going to break for commercial. You're listening to The City Show here on GGR. We'll be right back.
Panapinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panapintodevelopment.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
We're back. City Show Radio here on GGR. I'm Pat O'Melia. Let's go over to the county. I was at the commission meeting Thursday, and our sheriff was there, Frank Shillelagh. He asked for time to address the commissioners. I said hello to Frank. I don't know what the deal was. There was one of his undersheriffs were there. We had about 6 or 7 other sheriffs. They're all sheriffs. Why aren't they deputies? You had Andy was the sheriff. Barney was the deputy. Everybody in Hudson County is a sheriff. Why aren't there deputies anymore? And my wife said, "Who's that?" That's a sheriff. That's a sheriff. My wife said, "Who's that?" That's a sheriff. They're all little sheriffs. You got the big sheriff, you got the little sheriff. There's no Barneys here. They should have some Barneys. They should be deputies, but it is what it is. You know, one time, Hudson County actually had a police force. They actually had a Hudson County police. Their job, they would patrol the Kennedy Boulevard and the parks, and they would assist Jersey City or Secaucus. I think you had to supply your own car back. I had to ask. Because back then, I wasn't a good guy, and Hudson County police would chase me often. I remember in Secaucus one time, there was this like a red and black car they were driving. They were chasing me in my Pontiac. And going out Avalon Cove. Came out of Route 3. There was a sign saying Route 3 was about to open. Right through that. I get down to the gas station on Tunley Avenue, 403 Tunley Avenue. John's X. Park my car. We worked at the gas station. The Jersey City cops come flying in there. Say, Amelia. Heard they had Hudson County cops were chasing a white Pontiac. Sounds like your car. My car's in the back of the gas. Said, no, I'm sitting there having beers with me and Charlie and the guys. And nothing. And this kid, Larry Swords, with us. Larry Swords is still freaking he's still shaking from racing down. I came down Tully Avenue about, I don't know how fast that car was going, but the needle was buried. We were going pretty fast. And the cop says, "You sure that wasn't you, Amelia?" I said, no. He goes back to the Pontiac. Said GTO, but it was really puts his hand on my hood. And I'm surprised this guy didn't scream. He turned around to the other cop. Cold as ice. Not him. I'm like, holy. But yeah, I guess obviously the JCPD wasn't working with Hudson County Police. But they did have a Hudson County Police back then. I'll never forget that. Well, we knew actually you knew all the cops back then. They all patrolled the same area. They were good cops. They obviously weren't helping the Hudson County cops back then. Well, Frank, the sheriff's going to address the commissioners, and they finally get, of course, they never start on time. Supposed to be 4:30, 5 o'clock was starting. And Carol Jean, she's the mayor of Kearney. She's also the clerk to the commissioners. Calls for the sheriff. Sheriff. Oh, sheriff. Where's sheriff? And all of a sudden, he goes, "Oh, you here?" He left. I'm like, what? I wanted to address the commissioners. The guy left. Well, he left. Well, seeing there are some political problems, the sheriff did an interview with John Hines on Hudson County View. You can see the story there. He accused Craig Guy of turning his back on the sheriff department because they're not hiring more sheriffs. Now, if you know Craig Guy, he's an ex-cop. He was a Jersey City lieutenant. If you look at the agendas for the commissioners, and they're all online, you can do that. Every friggin' meeting, there's, we got new equipment for new cars, new pickup trucks, new ammo, new computers. I think there was like 56 computers they just bought for the sheriff's department. Every meeting, there's some serious money. There are expenditures for the sheriff's department. So I don't know if this is politics or not. And you take the politics, do what you want, but let's just talk about the person and the position at the county exec with Craig Guy. He's still a cop. He might be the county exec, and of course he's the chairman of the HCDO. He's still a cop. He knows what goes on in law enforcement. He knows what these sheriffs are up against. He knows what it's like at 2 o'clock in the morning. You're pulling someone over, and you don't have any backup. Because in the world we live in, God knows what might pop out of that car. So you got to make sure you got backup. I don't think Craig Guy is turning his back on the sheriff's department. I don't know if it's all politics. We did offer the sheriff and Jimmy Davis to come in the studio and debate. That didn't happen. Like I said, this is some of the worst campaigning I've ever seen. When people say, "Oh, I'm going to run on my record." Well, who the hell knows what your record is? You've got to tell the people. The way to get a vote is ask for the vote. Is it true that I doubt it? Because I just see the money that the county is spending on the sheriff's department. But do we need more sheriff officers? Well, if we're going to open a Guarini Center, I'm sure we do. I'm not sure I need 6 or 8 sheriffs at the commissioner meetings, but I'm not the one to handle security there. But you look at any one of those agendas from the commissioners, and you'll see some serious expenses for the Hudson County Sheriff's Department. So I'm not sure. Maybe I'll reach out, see if I can get Frank to come in next week. If I'm going to start doing, I was hoping to have Jim McGreevy on the show today. I reached out for McGreevy on Thursday. I reached out on Friday, and then on Monday, and then he get back to me. I get them today, and they go, "Oh, I'm busy with the reentry program." And I'm like, try to be professional. If you don't want to do the interview, it's fine. Just tell me. You don't ghost me for 3 days. I've had McGreevy in the studio many, many times. So I don't know if it's a campaign thing. McGreevy's running against O'Day. McGreevy knows I'm close to Mayor Fulop and, of course, Bill O'Day. That might have an issue, but, yeah, McGreevy's supposed to be an experienced campaign person and politician. He should know better. But hopefully McGreevy comes to his senses. Jersey City Fire Department. You go to the Jersey City website, you can get yourself a child finder or a pet finder sticker for your window, and hope the hell you never have to use it. You put it in your window, and if there's a fire, the fire department sees it. They say, "We know there's a kid in that room or Fido's in that room." So they go right to that. Hopefully you never see it. We had them years ago. They're bringing it back. And again, it's a good idea. Kudos to James Shea and the Jersey City Fire Department. And, of course, the Mayor Fulop and the City Council for doing that. Speaking of City Council, before I take my last break, Maureen Eulens has been voted in to be the seat warmer for Ward B. Maureen's been in Jersey City as a civic warrior for like 30-some-odd years. There should have been no question about her getting that seat. She's not going to run for election. She literally is a seat warmer there. So she's replacing Mira. Mira took a position at the EDC in Jersey City. The vote went 6-2. Solomon and Gilmore voted against it. Congratulations to Maureen. I'm sure she'll do an excellent job. She'll be more than a seat warmer there. All right, let's take a break, our last break for the day. You're listening to The City Show on GGR. I'll be right back.
Comprehensive healthcare is here, here, and here. RWJ Barnabas Health is healing, enhancing, and investing in Hudson County with its 2 newest locations, Hoboken and Exchange Place. Within walking distance or accessible by mass transit, our locations combine convenience with primary and specialty care, including cardiology, women's health, orthopedics, cancer care, and more. Let's be healthy together.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
We're back. You listen to the City Show here on GGR. I'm Pat O'Melia. Let's leave with the New Jersey Turnpike expansion. It again is being blasted by Jersey City critics. It's not just running traffic in the Jersey City, people. The whole idea of the expansion project, and first of all, it's not being paid by tax dollars. It's being paid by tolls. Nobody's taking $10 billion out of the taxes and we're widening the turnpike. It's being paid by tolls. And it isn't an expansion just to the Holland Tunnel. It's a whole new bridge, a whole 14. We're on 14A, B, C, going into Bayonne. That bridge has to go. In my entire life of driving, which is probably around 55 years now, that bridge has been under repair. I've never gone over that bridge without it being under repair. I've never seen all the lanes open. I've never seen it without construction guys up there. When they built that bridge in the 50s and 60s, they were putting money in their pocket. These guys were, it was like a fountain of money. But they were pocketing it. Then that was Jersey in the old days. It's probably Jersey in the new days, just not as apparent. The whole idea is moving commerce up and down the turnpike, not just to Jersey City. Not like the whole expansion is going to the Holland Tunnel. It's going north. It's going south. You got Amazon coming to your house. You got FedEx coming to your house. You got UPS coming to your house. All that is being moved by truck. Everything changed. Again, the pandemic, the routine has changed. Nobody shops. Malls are going bye-bye. Stores are going bye-bye. We need the expansion, and it's not tax dollars. Not like you're taking the $10 billion from them, and you're going to build a light rail. All right, I'm at a show. You be good. You be safe. I'll talk to you next week. Good night.